What's up, TUFE Nation? My name is Jean Abreu, and I am the host of TUFEcast. Today's episode, we are with Lucas Ometto. He's a fitness coach at Athletico Paranaense with experience in clubs like Botafogo, national team, the academy, the professional. To start off, I just want to say thank you, Lucas, for your time. Thanks for being here with us. Lucas is also one of our students, so it's great to have you here. It's great to have this opportunity so we can talk a little bit about your profession, about football. Thank you, Lucas.
Hello, Jean. Thanks to invite me for the TUFEcast. It's a pleasure for me talk to all students of TUFE. That's it. Let's talk.
Yes. To start off, tell us more about yourself. What do you do? Where you're from? And what you're working now?
Oh, my name is Lucas. I am a fitness coach at Athletico Paranaense in the first team. I am a Brazilian guy. I'm from São Paulo. I'm from São Paulo, but I did my university on Rio de Janeiro, the University of State of Rio de Janeiro, and after that, I've been on Portugal to study on FADEUP. I studied there 1 year, and that's it. After I finished the university, I did my master in Welsh too. All my articles at the master, I tried to study how about the small-sided games and large games influence the physical development on the athletes to train to the game. And that's it. That's my student career. That about I try to learn more, and about my career in the clubs. I started to work in soccer in Botafogo like a trainee in 2012, I think so. After that, I was a fitness coach for under 14 on Botafogo, and I grew up in Botafogo in all the categories in the academy, and I stayed in professional team, the first team from Botafogo for 5 years, and after that I moved to Curitiba to work on Athletico Paranaense. I came to Athletico Paranaense to work to be a fitness coach from the under 20, and now after 3 years I am on the first team. I am the fitness coach for the first team, and that's it. I think that I try to introduce myself a little bit, but I think that's it.
No, that's great. That's great. So you had experiences in Brazil, you had experiences in Europe, but you always worked with football. So to start off, tell us more how great it is to work with the greatest sport in the world.
Yeah, when I entered in the course of physical education in Rio de Janeiro, I made many trainees, and I worked on the gym, but I really didn't like. It's so boring, and after I did my first trainee on sports, I think it's the best thing, because the sports, it's part of my life. of course, all Brazilians loves football, but the Brazilian loves sports. The sports part of our life, and the soccer, it's our passion. I think all the Brazilians loves the soccer, and for me, it wasn't different. And I do, I I did the university to because I really love the sports, but I really love soccer. Uh, and works with soccer. It's a pleasure. Always when I entered in the field, or I entered in a new arena, for me it's a big emotion, because I recorded my when I was a child, and I looked at the TV, these all these arenas, and when I entered in in different arenas, it's very it's very funny, but it's a good emotion for me. And and the work with soccer, it's it's a passion, but sometimes for me, what I say, the soccer for me, and I think it's for all the workers in soccer. Sometimes it's addicted. I am addict from soccer. I think the competition has this particular thing that we need that sometimes to life. We need to win, we need to lose, because that emotion, it's very special. The to compete on the game, it's very special, and I think because of that, it's a big pleasure to work with this sports.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And not normally when we talk about football, we say only good things. It's great to work with something that you love. It's great to be in the arenas, but this is what the people think from the outside. Now we know
Yeah,
that you guys work so much. It's crazy. You guys don't have holidays. You guys don't have weekends. So you really need to love what you do, because it's not normal. You guys work too much. Of course, it's probably great to be with the teams traveling, but also the travels, the time that you spend more sometimes with the club than with the family. That's a part that some people don't really think, and they don't really understand. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
yeah. That nobody talk about that. The first thing we talk about the TV, the crowded arenas, but you you tell everything. We we don't have holidays. We don't have weekends, and sometimes we don't. There isn't time with our family, and it's sometimes it's complicated. Because of that, I say to work with football need to be more than just love. Sometimes you need to be addicted. It's crazy, because there isn't time for do anything. For example, my father and my mom. It's so funny, because sometimes I go I go to the game, and I come back sometimes at 11 o'clock at night, and I come to my house, and tomorrow I need to wake up early again, because there is training tomorrow. And my father, but the game just on Sunday. What are you doing tomorrow? Why just go on? Father, what do you think?
Yeah,
We just play. We
yeah,
just play. We work on Wednesday and Sunday. Just that. It's so funny, because many people doesn't know you doesn't know that we need to work every day. We need to train many athletes, and we don't there isn't there aren't holidays for us. And sometimes we work, for example, 40 days, and don't have holiday, don't have weekends, uh, and it's very, sometimes it's so tired, but but that's it. We need to work. That's our profession that we choose, and because of that, we need to work. And the soccer needs that about us.
Yeah, the football never stops, and sometimes people only thinks about the end result. They only think about the games, you know. Now, if they won or if the team wins or the team loses, people forget that there's a process before the game, and that's a long
Yeah,
process, you know. So
yeah.
yes,
That
again,
that's it. Another thing, for example, when just 11 nobody, 15 players play the game. And after the game, we need to work with the other players in the club. And because of that, the soccer doesn't stop.
yes. The next day you have to you have other players to train. Also, you have that's a squad. That's a big squad. And again, it that those things are it's interesting to talk because only people that are in football they understand this. They're really inside of football.
Yeah.
But okay, that's nice. That's nice. And talking, going over more your profession, you know, your position in the club as a fitness coach. How important is to have a good structure so you can perform, you can do your job, and also how is the structure at Athletico Paranaense?
For our for us, the structure it's it's so important. We work with many athletes. We work with athletes that it's so important for the squad, sometimes for the national team, and the structure for our department. It's so important to develop the athletes and to recover the athletes. It's so important because for the academy, for example, it's important because on the academy we develop the athletes for the future. And if you have a good structure, you can offer a good a good training. It's a better training, and because of that, you can develop better your athletes than than other clubs, and it's so important. In on the professional, the performance on the game it's so important. The win on the game it's so important, and the structure, the technologies on the department it's so important to develop the performance on the athletes, to develop and to recover the athletes. But what I say sometimes it's better a good communication with the departments than structure. Sometimes it's so important that too. Uh, if there aren't a structure, but you have a good communication, if all the workers on soccer, you can do a good job too. But of course, if you good a good communication and there is a good structure, it's better to develop the athletes and to perform on the game and win many matches and championship.
Yes, that's a good point that you touched here, the communication. And for example, in the performance and health department, how important and how do you guys do? How do you guys communicate? How do you guys keep everyone on the same page? Because we can talk about many professionals. You can talk about the fitness coach, physiologist, the physiotherapist, the doctors, etc., etc. How do you guys keep a good communication, and how important this communication is?
Yeah, I think I think we talked about in our class. I don't remember, but I think the communication it's so important for the life, and in soccer doesn't different. But in soccer, in the department of soccer, it's many professions, and it's so important to have a good communication with all departments to solve many problems. During during the year, the players, the staff, all of the departments, we 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 look at many problems, and the communication can solve these problems. And in our area, and about the health and performance of the athletes, many articles was produced and talk about that. A good communication can prevent many injuries, and a good communication can recover fast the athletes for the game. And if you have a good communication with all departments, with the physiotherapists, with the physiologists, with the coach, the technical staff, you can solve many problems, like the recover the athletes for the match, to develop the athletes. And when you talk about the academy and the professionals too, if you can prevent or decrease the risk of injuries, it's so important, because you can spend less money. That's it. For the academy, if your athlete, you can prevent the injury, the athlete can develop better, because the athlete stay more time on the training, on the match, and the athlete on the academy needs that to develop. And the professional, if you can prevent, you can, these athletes can participate in more games, and that's so important if you want to win matches, and if you win tournaments. And I think the communication, it's the gold process in the club. Like I tell today for you, if there is a good structure but you don't have communication, the structure, you can't use the structure. It's just to show for the external people. But if you have a good communication with all departments, you can do a good job. And I think that you need to do a good communication for all departments, because the final of the process, all the staff, all the coaches needs to win the match. And because of that, you need to do a good communication with all the departments.
Yes, and each department is important in some area, you know. So it's important to be together, everyone on the same page. And like you said, communication is essential for life, not only football, you know. But football is not different than anything else. So I agree 100% with you. Now, you work with many players. You work with players from the academy, from professional, national team. And my question to you now is, which player, or maybe more than one, impressed you more with the determination and the work ethic, you know, to be in shape, to be 100% in each game, every game? You know, which player caught your attention in this sense, in this situation, I would say?
Yeah, good question. But in my opinion, I think on Botafogo, I worked with many players with different nationality, but who impressed me on Botafogo is Jefferson, the goalkeeper from Botafogo and the national team, because what he did on the field and what he did on the training, it's fantastic. And very when we look on the training what he did, and we look at the game, oh, it's normal. He did many things on the training fantastic than that in the game, and so normal. But I think Jefferson, it's a name for one athlete. Of course, many athletes that impressed me, but Jefferson in my mind now, because what he did on the train, on the small side games, on on the goal, it's very fantastic, and how we know how he leader the other athletes. It's another thing very impressed, because what he talk with the athletes happen, and you can understand the the person of this goalkeeper. And I think that, and on Athletico Paranaense, I think today it's Fernandinho. Fernandinho, it's a player that impressed me, because he's a very complete guy. And I think if you want to be a soccer player, you need to be a compete, because if you compete a lot, you can develop very fast. And I can see in Fernandinho this, because on the training he's very compete, and because of that he impressed me. Sometimes we look at the players, some players just compete on the game, but when you see a player that competes a lot on the training, and you look at how this athlete win on his career, you can understand how he won that championship. I think these guys that impressed me because of that things.
Nice, nice. That's great. I think it's very interesting that you work with many players again, players that played in Europe, players that start their career, the academy players, the professional players. But it's nice to see the athletes. You see it every day. Again, people see only the end result, but you see every day. You see how much they put into training. Of course, there are athletes and athletes, but it's great to hear and understand a little bit more these two players that are big leaders, big names into football, and it's great to have this info and this this information about these two players. Now talking about the young ones, the young kids, and also the people that are graduating into college, what advice would you give to people that want to be in your place? You are in a big club, you work in the national team, you working with professionals. I'm sure that a lot of people that are listening to us, they want to know, a little advice. They want to know a little bit more from you. Which advice would you give to someone that wants to be in your position?
I think the first thing, the 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 person need to love sport, and love soccer. I think that's so important than study a lot, or we need to work hard every day. Because if you work hard and study hard, but if you don't love the what you do, you it's a bad thing. But you need to be very open to listen different persons, because what I say, what I do today in my job, it's very different than I did when I start. And if you are very close, oh, I do that because I think that I don't change, I think it's a bad situation for you. And in our area, for the performance, for the health departments, it's that our area develop very fast, and you need to be open to study, to listen, and to see different things. That things can develop you to be better, and it's important. We change our minds. Today, the internet make the information very fast for everybody, and you need to be open, to look, to listen, to understand, to study hard, to be a a better professional. I think that if you are love the sports and stay open for new ideas, I think these advices can help all the young guys. But it's important to say it's very good when you work with your love, because it's you can see the all things that you did in the past, and you think it's all that's good. I can I can I can how can I say that? But I think I can.
It was worth it, right? Everything that you gave,
Yeah,
everything that you gave was
yeah,
worth
that's it. Thanks, teacher.
it. Great, great, man. That's great. And question to you now, talking about English. So how important is English for you, for your personal life, and in your professional life? So how important is English? You know, football is becoming more professional in Brazil, but also opportunities outside. What's your opinion on the necessity of learning English into football?
I think English it's so important, and I think it's learn different things. It's so important for our life, and the English it isn't different. But for me in my career, it's so important because I can talk it with many players that I worked in the past, and I could understand different cultures of these players. For example, when I worked in Botafogo, I can talk with Honda. I can understand more of these players, of his culture. I can talk with Kalu, that another culture. He's from Africa. I can understand about when he was a child, and I think for my career, it's so important because I can talk with these players, and I can learn more about the different cultures. And another thing, it's important because for example, when we study all the articles in English, sometimes we look at some classes, the best classes in English too, and if you can understand that, you it's important because it's easy for you, and you can develop yourself uh, better. And because of that, I think the English it's so important. And about the last question, I remember now because we talk about the learn and the education. The another advice for everybody. The first thing that I need to understand is the human, and after that, the athlete. It's so important. All the human on the top, that the athlete, and on the academy, this is more important because the kids sometimes there are many problems on their life, and we need to understand the human, the kid, to can develop himself like a human, and after that the athlete. And on the professionals too, the human, it's more important than athletes. If we access this human, we can make a good conversation, and it's important to develop the person, the human, and that's good for the soccer and for the world. And that is advice. I think it's so important because sometimes we forget. We just think, oh, he is athlete. He needs to training. He needs to work, and no, he doesn't have problem in his life. Now he need to work, and that's it. No, it's a big problem. We need to understand the human, the kids, before the athletes. And if you can do that, it's so good for you because you can develop this athlete better.
No, definitely, definitely. That's a good point there because football is a business. We can say that, and sometimes we can see that the clubs, the coaches, everyone that works with the sport treat the players as products. Of course, we can check on the business side, yes, but we have to remember this, what you said, because they are humans. In the academy, they're just kids. You have to understand this. We have to develop the player, the person, the human for the future. Becoming a professional footballer or not, you have to
Exactly.
develop the human. So I think that's a very good point. That's great that you brought this to the conversation, and that's awesome. That's awesome. To finish, Lucas, tell us about a fun fact. Anything unexpected that happened during your career in football? Anything that was not expected? Tell us more about it. Is that anything that you can tell us?
Fun fact. Mm, I don't know. It's so fun, but for me, it's in that moment. It's very fun because when I worked on the Botafogo, it separates the academy and the profession. It's very separate. And when I go to the first team, my first day, uh, I entered on the club, and I went to the breakfast, and the first player that I look at, and I stay stay by side of him, it's Jefferson. And I look of the goalkeeper, and in the last weekend he defend a penalty from Messi, and I think, oh my God, what happened with me? It's very funny because I never in that period I never stay stay near from a professional player, and I look, oh my God, now I need to train him. I think I can do that, and for me, it's very funny, and I remember that because it's a it's an important day for me, but it's very funny this day for me.
No, definitely. This is a situation that happens, I think, to everyone. The first experience, the first experience with a professional. This happened to me also when I went to Botafogo. When I see Honda, when I saw Kalu. when I saw all the professional players at Botafogo, got Tito, all of them, I was like, oh, these players I only see on TV. I used to play on video games with these guys.
That is.
It's crazy. It's awesome, actually. This is one of the special things about working with football. But Lucas, I want to say thank you very much. That was a great talk. Very good things that we talk here. I'm pretty sure that people will love to listen, to hear, to learn more about you, your opinions, your experiences. And thank you very much. It's great to have you here at TUFEcast. It's great to have you on our TUFE squad. So thank you.
Thank you, Jean. It's a pleasure to talk with you. It's a pleasure to be a part of TUFE. It's a good job that the TUFE developed on soccer. And thanks to invite. And that's it.